Hi, welcome back to my video. So this time, I'll be providing a rectangular representation of complex numbers part 2 as a response to the request of everybody that I'm going to provide additional examples for this topic. So I'll be providing in this video 3 examples to make sure that I will be able to provide clarity and emphasis on how to use rectangular representation to complex numbers this topic. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe so that you will be updated for all the videos that I will be making in all areas of mathematics. So we'll start now. So I'll start with example 1. Find all circles that are orthogonal to both modulo of z equals 1 and modulo of z minus 1 equals 4. So to solve on these, we will have to consider two circles that are orthogonal, of course. So consider the first circle, C1, that's Z such that Z minus alpha 1 equals R1. We also have to consider another circle here that is Z such that Z minus alpha 2 equals R2. So if we are going to view some illustration with relationship to this C1 and C2, assuming I have a very perfect drawing. So I have a first circle here with a center alpha 1. So we have a radius R1, of course. And I have here another circle with a center of alpha 2, and its radius is this one. So R2. This is what I meant with the orthogonal representations of two circles. Now, in this case, I would have, of course, R1 squared plus R2 squared equals the square of the modulo of alpha 1 minus alpha 2. So in view of this observation, the conditions for which the circle, let's say the circle we have of the modulo of z minus alpha equals r, is orthogonal to both modulo of z equals 1 and modulo of z minus 1 equals 4 are actually given by this. So, okay. So z minus alpha equals r is orthogonal. So it's orthogonal to both modulo of z equals 1 and modulo of z minus 1 equals 4. So this is actually given by, I can have 1 plus r squared equals alpha minus 0. That's squared of the modulo of alpha minus 0. I would also have 4 plus r squared. Oh, this should be 4 squared equals alpha 1, the square of alpha minus 1, the modulo of alpha minus 1, and I can equate this into 1 plus square of alpha, modulo of alpha minus 2, the real image of z. Now, how did I get this first equation here? Simply, I just square both sides of this equation. So I would get z minus alpha equals r squared. Then z, I add the left side by the modulo of z. So I would have now negative alpha. So I add the right side by 1, which is the same as modulo of z. So I have 1 plus r squared. Now, negative alpha, I can write that as modulo of alpha minus 0. So this is the negative alpha. This is the same as alpha minus 0 squared, something like that. So therefore, I get this equation. So same what happened to this one here. I use this equation. I simplify using this e equation here. And I arrive this equation. Okay. Now observe that this equation would imply that my R is equal to the square root of modulo of alpha minus modulo of alpha squared minus 1. And so this is square root here. And I also have here the ray of z, or the real image of z, is equal to -7 by using this R here. Okay. So I'm not gonna show the basic algebraic manipulation for this one because we're not talking with algebra, but this is actually obvious in solving that one. So here, if I'm gonna simplify this, I would have gotten -7 plus IV. Of course, where your alpha is actually A plus IB. So I would also get here R equals 49 plus B squared minus 1. This is actually square root here. And so I would get 48 plus B squared. So that's square root of 48 plus B squared. Okay, so therefore, I would have gotten this circle here. That is, I'm sorry. Z minus, that's Z minus alpha. It's supposed to be Z minus alpha, but the alpha is -7 plus IB. So therefore, I can write, this is just the same as 40 square root of 48 plus B squared. Your B is an element of real number because your B, your alpha can be written as A plus IB. So this is now your circles of, this is the form of your circles that are orthogonal to both modulo of z equals 1 and modulo of z minus 1 equals 4. That's it. So if you have questions, clarifications, and clarity, you can comment down there on this video. So this is now our example 1. So let's consider answering example 2 here. Hang on, I might have to check this example 2 here. So let's go to example number 2. We have to show that the triangle ABC with vertices Z1, Z2, Z3 is equilateral if and only if Z1 squared plus Z2 squared plus Z3 squared is equal to Z1 times Z2 plus Z2 times Z3 and times Z3 times Z1. So to let's prove that claim here. So for the purpose that I might not be writing over again of the same equation. So I'll just label this one as star here. So let alpha be equal to Z2 minus Z1. Okay. I would also have to let my beta equals Z3 minus Z2. And I would also have to let my gamma as Z1 minus Z3. So in this case, I would have, assuming I have a very perfect triangle drawing here. So this is, I would have, let's say the vertex here is Z1, the vertex here is Z2, the vertex here is Z3. So if I'm gonna plot this into a complex plane, the distance, so which is actually the measure of the line segment connecting this vertex Z1 and Z2. So I have this as alpha, where my alpha, of course, is Z2 minus Z1. I would also have this as beta, and I will also have this as gamma. Okay, now if I'm gonna add the dimensions of this triangle, which we're supposed to be proving that this is equilateral. So if I'm gonna add this one here, alpha plus beta plus gamma. Of course, this is 0 because this the direction is this. So it goes back here. So this would imply if and only if I'm gonna take the modulo of each. So I would have modulo of alpha, modulo of beta, modulo of gamma equals 0. There's no way we can just write modulo of 0 because that's still the same. So I'm gonna this modulo of alpha here, I can multiply that by 1, which is the same as multiplying alpha over alpha. So I would have alpha times modulo of alpha, that's over alpha. Same with what happened to beta, modulo beta here. So I'll write this. I would also have to write this. Okay. Now in this case, so what actually happened is, if you multiply, recall that if you have z equals a plus ib, you have the modulo equals a minus ib. So if you're gonna multiply this one here, you'll get 1 by the property of the modulo. So I have discussed that before on my previous video. So this is actually the same as 1 over alpha. I would also have 1 over beta. I would also have 1 over gamma equals 0. Okay. And this case, however, I would have 1 over z minus, I'm sorry, this is z2 minus z1, the alpha. Your beta is z3 minus z2. And your gamma would be z1 minus z3. By the way, if I'm going to multiply this or simplify this equation, I would get z1 squared plus z2 squared plus z3 squared equals z1 z2 plus z2 z3 plus z3 z1. And I was able to prove the forward direction. Okay, so conversely, we're going to solve the backward. So let's go back to the claim here. What is this is that starting from here, you would be able to attain at the conclusion at which so starting from here, you would attain at the conclusion at which the triangle is equilateral. So in this case, your dimension, your alpha, your beta, and your gamma are equal. Because when you're trying to prove on this equality, you started with the assumption that alpha, beta, and gamma are equal. So sorry, I forgot to include it here. The dimension of alpha equals the dimension of beta is equal to the dimension of gamma. Okay, so that's our goal here. Okay, now to prove on that, suppose this holds. So I just label it star. So I'll write suppose the star holds. So if that holds, then I would have 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta plus 1 over gamma equals 0. And I'm gonna simplify this equation here. I would get alpha beta, that's beta gamma plus gamma alpha equals 0. And in this case, I can write this as alpha beta plus gamma, negative gamma equals 0. Why? What happened is I can extract gamma here and I would have beta plus alpha. But beta plus alpha is equal to negative gamma. So that's why I can write it here. Okay. Now, because of that, I have alpha beta equals gamma squared. Because this is negative gamma squared, so I'll transfer it to the other side, so that's gamma squared. Similarly, I would also get beta gamma equals alpha squared, and I would also get gamma alpha equals beta squared. Okay. So further, by this case, I will be able to I would have alpha beta, and if I'm gonna multiply this by alpha by the conjugate, I'd have gamma squared times modulo of gamma then squared. Okay, that is, I'd have alpha modulo alpha times beta modulo beta times gamma modulo gamma, and I would have gamma modulo gamma cube. So meaning to say that I multiply both sides of this equation by additional gamma times modulo gamma. Okay, so what happened is, because of symmetry, we should have, or we would also have here, and I would have, this one. So therefore, I'd have 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta plus 1 over gamma. That's equal to 0 implies I would have here. So which implies that, and so this would tell us that the triangle is equilateral. That's it. Okay. So let's consider answering example 3 here. So in this case, we are going to describe geometrically the set S given by the set here. So in which we have cases for which C is greater than the modulo of A, C is equal to 0, or C is in between 0 to A exclusive. And we also have C equals A where they're both positive. So to solve on this one, so let's start with the first case. C equals C is greater than the modulo of A. Now, observe that Z minus A plus minus rather, so that's minus Z, the modulo of Z plus A. Remember this is equal to 2C. And this is less than or equal if I'm gonna write this way. Z minus A minus Z plus A. If I'm gonna simplify this one, I would get 2A, which implies that the modulo of A is greater than C. So this is strictly less than here. So which implies that A is greater, the modulo of A is greater than C. So since the modulo of A is greater than C, so there's no way for us to conclude that C is greater than the modulo of A. So this is already a contradiction here. Therefore, your S is empty. So that means you don't have that kind of set satisfying that equation. Okay, let's solve for the case wherein C is 0. So for the case C equals 0, note that I have Z minus A equals Z plus A. Why? Because, of course, your set is Z minus the modulo of Z minus A minus the modulo of Z plus A equals 2C. So this is 0. I'm going to transfer this to the other side. So this is now your resulting equation. So what does it mean? This is already a set. This S here is already a line. So your S is the line that is perpendicular bisector of the line joining A and negative A. Why? Because this is already, if you notice, you have to pick all the Z's here, but you have negative A and positive A here. So they're actually joined by a line. So your Z here is a perpendicular bisector of that line connecting A and negative A. So that's it for this case. So let's solve for the case at which your C is less than A, but it's greater than 0. So let's consider this case here. Now this is quite long, but that will this is very easy to follow. So let's consider z. So our z here is this form. Then you have z minus alpha. I'm sorry, rather z minus a. It's a here. So you have z minus a. You have z plus a equals 2c. What does it mean? This implies if and only if you have z minus the square of the modulo of z minus a. I'm gonna transfer this to the other side, and I take the square both sides. So I'd have 2c plus z plus a. Okay. Now, by this one, I would get z minus a squared. And if I'm gonna simplify this, just do it manually, I would have 4c squared plus z plus a squared, the modulo of z plus a. And I would have 4c z plus a. Okay. And of course, this is simplifying on this one, rearranging everything here. You can do it algebraic manipulation. I have z plus a plus c squared, and I would have negative 2a. I'm sorry, it should be negative a rather. So it should be negative a, the real image of z. Of course, in this case, your real image of z is less than 0. I transfer this to the left side. I transfer this to the right side. And I divide both sides by 4. And so if I divide this by 4 here, this one and this one, I would get negative a times the real image of z. So that's actually a property taken from the previous video about the real image and imaginary image. And by the way, this is equal to c squared times this one, the square of the modulo of z plus a squared plus 2a, real image of z. This is equal to c squared plus a, real image of z, and this is squared. So what my final answer is, it will be c squared, and that's square of the modulo of z minus a squared times real image of z, and that's squared. That is c squared times c squared minus a squared. And so I would get x squared over c squared. So this is x, okay. For you to follow, I'm not gonna jump that right away. C squared, I can write this as c squared. This is z squared. So that's equivalent to x squared plus y squared. That's a squared. This is re of z, so that I have x squared. That's c squared minus a squared. And simplifying, dividing both sides by this expression, I would get x squared over c squared minus y over a squared minus c squared equals 1. So dividing both sides by this expression, and I will have to do simple manipulation, and you would arrive with this. Okay, now that you got this equation, so I think this is quite familiar. This is quite common already. I have this in my previous video. And note that your z minus a minus the modulo of z plus a is greater than 0, because in this case, your c is 0. This is supposed to be equal to 2c. So this is positive. Your c is positive, so you're pretty sure this is also positive. This implies that your real image of Z is less than 0. So if your A is greater than C and it's greater than 0, we would have S equals X plus IY such that X over squared over C squared minus Y squared, it should be Y squared rather, C squared, A squared minus C squared equals 1. So this is now your set. And how do you call this set 1 here? This is actually the set of hyperbola. This is an equation of hyperbola here. If you're familiar, you can go back to the video I have for hyperbola. So this is an equation of hyperbola. Your foci on this case is A and negative A. That's it. So we're done with the case 3 for which your A is greater than C and your C is positive. So pretty sure your A also is positive. So let's go to a case at which your A and C are equal. And when they're equal, they should be positive. So our case, so this is now the last case. This is very simple. So you have Z minus A, the modulo of Z minus A minus the modulo of Z plus A. So that's equal to 2C. So since A is equal to C, I'd rather write 2A here. So this implies the modulo of Z plus A equals, if I'm gonna transfer this to the other side and I have to multiply both sides by -1, this is the negative real image of Z plus A. And what is this? This one here, this would imply that the real image of Z plus A is less than 0. Why? Because simply this is already positive, and this if this is negative here, so this is pretty sure this is negative to make it all positive. So what does it mean? Your S is the interval from negative infinity to A, negative A here by evaluating on this. And that's all. So we have now discussed everything about the 3 examples on the rectangular representation of complex numbers. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you would learn a lot here. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Down here on a video, there's a red button there. So click that one until it turns gray. So thank you so much. And by the way, you can comment down there for any questions, clarifications, requests on the video. So thank you and have a great day to you.